Anderson got it to Messer in front. Backhander scores. The puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrows is pressed. Lost the puck loose to Edwards. Back in for Alex Burrows. It's up in the air. Now McKinnon to the side. Oh! With the left glove. Are you kidding me? What a save.
Hey, Canucks Nation, Brandon Alston here, play-by-play for the Abby Canucks. You've got it locked in the line change, the Vancouver Canucks podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another watch party. I'm really hoping my iPad does not die before this game's over. Because for some reason it did not charge last night, but that's my problem, not your guys' problem. Once again, we're getting set for Carolina versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Of course, we know that the Carolina Hurricanes need one more win, and they've officially swept their second series in a row. And of course, the Philadelphia Flyers are playing with like their lives depend on it in this game, or else they're going to be eliminated and suffer yet another sweep. So, needs to be a must-win for the Philadelphia Flyers in this one, but it's not going to be easy because it looks like Carolina has been absolutely unstoppable in these playoffs. Of course, with them having never lost before in these playoffs, along with the Colorado Avalanche, which I believe are playing later tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So I haven't really been keeping track of the playoffs, at least the last several days or so, as I've been so focused on the draft. But since while we wait for this game, excuse me, to get underway, I want to let you guys know what the plan is for these watch parties going forward. Probably only going to be able to do like one a week, just because starting tomorrow I am going to be going back to work, so it's going to be difficult to do these watch parties on a more consistent basis because of that. So that's why I'm doing one today, and we'll probably do at least one a week starting this upcoming week. So just wanted to let you guys know about that and whatnot. But let's take a look at this game though and the stats. So as I mentioned and outlined already, the Carolina Hurricanes are up 3-0 in this series. And let's take a wait, are these season, like regular season stats? Yes, they are. Crud. Thanks, Yahoo. So here, let's go over what we're going to go over in the intermissions. First intermission, we're going to go over this article, talk about this. Feels though this is getting some buzz here with what Caleb Mahal just said about getting drafted by the Canucks. He said it would be really cool. Didn't necessarily say he wants to be a Canuck per se, but he did say it would be really cool. So we're going to dive into that article in the first intermission. I don't think there's any new updates when it comes to the Canucks GM search. I know we found out yesterday that it's down to 2 between Ryan Johnson and Evan Gould. So one of those two will be the new Canucks general manager. We'll probably go over some other things as well in the second intermission, on like what's coming up on the channel, as I pre-recorded a bunch of videos for the next couple of days. So I'll let you guys know just what exactly to look forward to in that for sure. But for those of you that are here, ways that you can get involved in the live stream, you guys can here. You guys can like the video. You guys can hype the video as well. Although I do believe you need a certain amount of subscribers in order to do so. I think it's 100, or maybe might even actually be 500. You can subscribe to the channel. You can submit a super chat, a donation. You guys can also buy a membership, upgrade your membership, and you can use your monthly membership message as well. On that note, I want to bring this up here. Let me move that. Where to go? If you're probably wondering about memberships, just a little refresher for you guys on this. Here, just going to give you guys a little refresher on the memberships. We have our rookie tier, which gives you loyalty badges, which, by the way, I'm still working on those, as well as the custom emojis. You get early access to videos. So if I put up a video, you will be the first to see it. You will get it before the public gets to see it. You also get access to members only live chats. That is all in our rookie tier, which is $2.99. Moving on to our second tier, which is, I like to call it our Ring of Honor. You get all those rookie perks that I just mentioned. You get member shoutouts, you get discounted merch, you get members only live streams, and you get members only videos. So join today, become a member, either a rookie or a Ring of Honor, whichever you prefer, and let's embark on this journey together. So there you guys go. Those are the ways you can get involved. I'm going to quickly dive into some of your comments while we still wait for this game to start. So we have Bobby. Good to see you, Bobby. Nick's in the chat. Good to see you, Nick. Excuse me. Hello, froggy in my throat. But yeah, as you guys can see from the channel, I've been doing a bunch of draft related content. That's been actually a lot of fun to do. As you know, that's the one thing about the draft lottery, despite the result, it opens up a whole bunch of draft related content that we can do. And I'm absolutely pumped that we can have all this discussion, all this talk, all this speculation about who are the Canucks going to pick with the 3rd overall pick. Who are they going to pick with the 24th overall, potentially 23rd overall pick if Minnesota is in fact eliminated from the second round. The Canucks' pick will actually move up to 20th, or I think it's if they're eliminated and if certain teams advance. I don't know the exact stat. Actually, you know what? Let me bring it up. Actually, no, I can't. I believe I saw a tweet, but the highest the Canucks can move up is 1 spot, essentially. And I think the farthest they can move back is 27th, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in a live chat. But yeah, looking forward to videos of the future. Let me show you guys something real quick here. Let me just go like this. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys what you guys can expect in the coming days. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out the video that came out earlier, talking about the 3rd overall pick chaos, you guys can go ahead and check that video out. Basically, in that video, I talk about how, depending on who the Canucks pick with that 3rd overall pick, there's going to be a little bit of chaos. And of course, that 3rd overall pick is causing said chaos because, for example, if the Canucks were to pick, say, Ivar Stenberg, they would likely have to move out a guy like Jake DeBrusk because they would probably want Ivar Stenberg to take that spot. And of course, Jake DeBrusk would be in the way. So this is that video that I'm talking about. And I'm going to bring it up I'm not going to bring up the video itself, but I am going to bring up the thumbnail just so you guys know which video I'm talking about. This one is the one I'm talking about. So definitely go ahead, check that out. Of course, I had a lot of fun with the thumbnail. But it basically outlines how each selection, whether it's Chase Reed or a defenseman, whether it's Caleb Malhotra or if it's Stenberg, each selection causes a little bit of uncertainty and chaos with that selection, and probably requires the Canucks to move out a veteran piece like a Jake DeBrusk, a Philip Hronik, or a Marcus Pettersson. So definitely check that video out when you guys have a chance. But things are starting to get underway here in Philadelphia. Just doing a pregame right now, but let's see if we can actually find some stats. Probably NHL.com would probably have them. There's Gritty. Okay, I'm going to put the stats here. Give me one sec while I this up. All right, here we go. Screen share. All right, so taking a look at the stats, you have Mitch Marner leading the way in points with 13. Followed closely behind him is Quinn Hughes, Kirill Kaprizov, Jack Eichel, and of course Leon Draisaitl. But of course, we know the Oilers are eliminated. McKinnon tied for 5th. Boldy tied for 5th. Leo Carlsson, Lacombe, and then Troy Terry. When it comes to goals against average, there has been nobody better than Freddie Anderson. He has a 1.02 goals against average. Seelovs with a 1.52. We all know Seelovs has been eliminated. And then you have Alex Lyon of the Buffalo Sabres, Linus Ullmark, Dan Vladar, Ville Husso, and then Scott Wedgwood. But looking at goals, Mitch Marner is tied for the lead with 6. Of course, the other night, Marner with a natural hat trick. Boldy tied for first with 6. Hagel, Howden, and Stankoven all tied for 6 goals. Then you have Jason Robertson with 5. Nathan McKinnon with 4. Leo Carlsson with 4. Alex Tuch with 4. And then Cutter Gauthier with 4. Looking at assists, leading the way is Jack Eichel with 10. Lacombe with 9. Quinn Hughes with 8. Kaprizov also with 8. Then you have a 4-way tie with 7 with Mitch Marner, Leon Draisaitl, and Troy Terry. And Matt Duchene. Then you have Nathan McKinnon with a tie with Leo Carlsson with 6. Taking a look at save percentage, Freddie Anderson leading the way with a 9.57 save percentage. Of course, right behind him, Artur Seelovs, Alex Lyon, Linus Ullmark, Scott Wedgwood, Dan Vladar, Jakob Dobas, Carter Hart, Anton Forsberg, and then Jeremy Swayman. Shutouts, once again, Freddie Anderson with 2, Dan Vladar with 2, and those two are about to go to battle here in just a matter of moments here. Vasilevsky with 1, and then everyone else did not get a shutout in these playoffs. So Freddie Anderson been the goalie of the playoffs so far. Can he do it again and remain unbeaten against the Philadelphia Flyers? By the way, if my wife heard me say that, she would absolutely skewer me. It's a good thing she is in the other room, or actually she's about to go out, actually. So those are the stats for the players in the playoffs so far. And like I said, we're just getting ready to get started here. So we will go back here as they highlight Freddie Anderson. Oh, I don't want this. Oh, not good for the Flyers. No Kate's ruled out for the rest of the series. And we're underway. You know. So here comes the Flyers. Oh, back down into the Flyers zone. Big, big hit there. On the boards. Couturier with it. Ah. Crap. Share screen. There we go. Flyers with it. Shot from the point. Easily saved by Freddie Anderson. Now, I know a thing or two about the Hurricanes because a couple years ago, I actually spent a whole lot of time actually watching a lot of Carolina Hurricanes games just because, and it was because of fantasy, because I had a few Carolina players in my fantasy league. And I was like, I want to actually see how these guys play. And I actually ended up really liking how Carolina plays. So I kind of adopted them as my Eastern Conference team. Oh, here comes Martone. Shot. Saved by Anderson. Rebound. Anderson stops him again. Flyers with a bit of pressure there, trying to get that goal. Puck dumped down into the corner. All right, behind the net. Hurricanes scanning the ice. Loud boos from the crowd. Got to spare. Here come the Hurricanes. Now here come the Flyers. Battle for the puck there. Puck dumped back to center ice. And the puck goes out of play. So anyway, as I was saying, I ended up watching a lot of Carolina Hurricanes hockey and adopted them. Are you going to? No, I'm not doing a doubleheader. It's just this game. Anyway, what was I saying? Right. So I had a bunch of Hurricanes in my fantasy. So I was like, I'm going to watch some of the games. Like I said, really liked their play. And that was around the time that Anderson was struggling to remain healthy, too. Cleared out, and puck sent right back into the Hurricane zone. Here's Chatfield. Pass over, up the boards. Now here come the Hurricanes entering the Flyers zone. Ends up over the glass, and we got a whistle. So, about a little under 4 minutes into this first period. Shots are 1-0 for Philadelphia in this one. And I believe that was the Martone chance. If you're just joining, welcome to this watch party. So we have a face-off here. Scramble. Oh. Lots of spread with a shot saved by Villadar. Into the corner. Brent Martinuk shot wide. Nice chance there by Martinuk. Flyers with it. Pass up the center. And now it's intercepted. Jarvis. Wow, what a save by Villadar. Jarvis just walked right in there. By the way, I love those Carolina jerseys. If I were to ever get a non-Canucks hockey jersey, it would probably be a Hurricanes jersey. I don't know why. I just really like them. Especially their black home jerseys. I like those ones. All right, here's Carolina with it. Enter the zone. They just chip it in. Flyers are able to get it out to center. Carolina with it. There's Drysdale with it. Around the net. Or behind the net now. Drysdale behind the net. Scanning up ice. Pass up. Diggers with it, who just chips it in. Here comes Carolina. Walker. Flyers able to chip it back down into the Carolina zone. Big hit by Konechny. Now here comes Carolina. Chatfield. Dumps it in. Into the corner. Stankoven. Corner. Slavin with the shot. Vladar looked like he got a piece of that. There's Stankoven. Chatfield. Blake with it now. I'm going back to Hall. Slavin. Chatfield. Shot. That went wide, and that goes out of play. Shots are now 4-1 in favor of Carolina in this one. There's Rick Tocchet. Is Rick Tocchet and his Philadelphia Flyers on the brink of elimination here? Dump down into the corner. Puck battle for it in the corner. And comes loose, and Flyers are able to clear it. Offside on the Flyers. As we go to our first commercial break with 13:57 left in the first period. Once again, a reminder how you guys can get involved with the live stream. You guys can like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can send in a super chat. You can buy a membership, upgrade a membership, and you can use your monthly membership message. those of you in the chat, would you guys let me know while we're in the commercial break? Let me know your reactions to the draft lottery, and who do you guys want the Canucks to pick at 3rd overall? Let me know in the chat. Yeah. All right. Going to take a quick look at the game stats. I know we're quickly. So shots are actually 4-2 in favor of the Hurricanes. Face-off percentage is 50% for both sides. 3 out of 6. 4 hits early on in this one for the Flyers. 3 for the Hurricanes. 1 block shot each. 2 giveaways for the Flyers in this one, and 1 takeaway. And as we mentioned, the Hurricanes are up 3-0 in the series. They won 3-0 in game 1, 3-2 in game 2, and they won 4-1 in game 3. As we're back, Flyers chip it up to center. Carolina intercepts, and here comes Carolina. Back down to the Colorado end as they chips it up the boards. Flyers regain possession of the puck. There's Ghosty Bear, as I like to call him. The corner. Chip up. As chipped down into shot. Went wide. Aho there just shot it wide. Aho with it in the corner. Back to the point. Dumped down around. Jarvis. Battle for it in the corner. Oh, tried to pass it. Back to the point. Around the boards. Aho with it. Stretching the cup. Tried to shot. Went wide. And Carolina's really missing the net a lot here. Miller. Pass is broken up. Carolina regains possession of it. Here comes the Flyers. They chip it down. Here's Zegras. Forster shoots, scores. What a nice pass by Zegras. Who would the Hurricanes play next? They would play either Montreal or Buffalo next, Bobby, if they win tonight. So 1-0 Philadelphia. Tyson Forster, his first of the playoffs, assisted by Zegras and Martone. All right, puck in the corner. Jankowski, back to the point. Back down to Jankowski. Carrier with it. In the corner, trying to evade the Flyer there, who's pestering him. On the net. Zegras tried to get it out now. Flyers with that, and they're able to just chip it down. Sheffield lost the puck a little bit there as Martone gave him a nice shove. Now here come the Hurricanes. Ooh, big puck dumped down into the Flyers zone. Martin up. Ehlers right in front. Oh, what a save by Vladar. There's Hathaway. Chips it down. Carolina with it in their own zone. Walker. Svechnikov with it. There's Miller, Keandre Miller, who fires it up to Svechnikov, who fires it over to the other side. And then a big hit by Hathaway on Aho. Intercepted pass. Aho with it. There's Gostisbehere shot. Saved by Vladar. Going to another commercial break here. Actually, since Bobby was asking, let's quickly take a look at the brackets. So, as I mentioned, if Carolina wins, they go on to the Eastern Conference Final, and they will face the winner of Montreal or Buffalo in the Eastern Conference Final. If the Avalanche beat the Minnesota Wild later and actually end up sweeping them or winning the series, they will face the winner of Vegas and Anaheim in the Western Conference Final. So we are now down to 4 teams in each conference. That will obviously, or no, 2, yeah, 4. So yeah, of course, Buffalo Montreal is tied at 1 in that series. Vegas has a 2-1 lead on Anaheim in that series. And as we know, Colorado with a 2-0 lead on Minnesota. So yeah, Carolina would likely face Buffalo or Montreal. Let me know, who would you want them to face, Buffalo or Montreal, in that series? I honestly wouldn't mind a Carolina-Montreal Eastern Conference Final. I also wouldn't mind a Carolina-Buffalo. So it could go either way, honestly. Oh, stall. All right, face off to the left of Vladar. It is pumping in Philadelphia. Shots are now 6-3 for Carolina as they win the face-off. Robinson with a shot went wide. Gatfield around the boards. There's Jankowski. Carrier with it. Carrier to Robinson. In front of the net. And Vladar covers it for the whistle. You know. Let me know your guys' predictions for the score in this one. Let me know what you guys' predictions are for this one in the chat. Shot. And that goes out to center ice. Carolina are able to get it back and chip it back down into the Flyers zone. Puck down into the Carolina zone. Hit on Nikishin. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty, delayed call on the Flyers. So Carolina's going on the power play. It's like Martone going to the box. It's going to be a hooking call. So Carolina's going to the power play. Shots are 7-3 now for Carolina. And it's cleared all the way down the ice. Gosh. Now here comes Carolina. Now here come the Hurricanes, but they break it out. Over. Into the corner. Back to the point. There's Goss's Bear. Ehlers with it. Shot went wide. Aho keeps it in. Ehlers with it. Back to the Goss's Bear. Svechnikov shot went wide. Ehlers with it. In front. Looked like that shot got blocked. Sanheim stick break, so the Flyers have a player without a stick. In front, oh, just missed. Back to the point. And the broken stick intercepts that pass. But what a chance for Carolina there on the power play. They were really pressing there. Flyers dump it back down. Less than 10 seconds left on this power play. Broken up by Dvorak. And the power play is over. So the Hurricanes are 0-for-1 now on the power play. And the puck goes out of play. Oh, what a chance by Jarvis. Just missed. Oh. Man, that was such a good chance for Jarvis there. What a pass by Aho. All right, face up to the left of Anderson. It's like won by Carolina. Chipped up to center. Philadelphia intercepts it and fire it off the boards. Here comes Flyers. Saved by Anderson. Stahl just dumps it down into the Flyers zone. Around the boards. Konechny. Pass over. Back to Konechny. Here's Bonk. Hands it off. And Barkey wasn't able to handle that pass. There's Sanheim skating in. Oh. Penalty coming up to Carolina. Oh, man. Barkey. I want to see this again. Oh. Yeah, looks like Barkey may have hit his head on the crossbar. So Flyers are going to go to the power play as we go to a quick commercial here. Let me know your guys' predictions for this game. I know it's 1-0 Flyers right now, but what do you think the final score is going to be in this one? Let me know your predictions in the chat. Flyers already with 5 block shots in this one and 6 giveaways. They need to put a lid on those giveaways or else it's going to burn them eventually. Shots are now 7-4 in favor of Carolina. As Martinuk is going to the box for 2 minutes for interference. So the Flyers have a chance to tackle onto their lead on the power play here. There we go. See how the Flyers do on the power play here. Maybe a false start on the faceoff. Yep, gonna do the faceoff again. Yep. Carolina, they shoot it all the way down the ice. There's Drysdale. Leaves it back. Zegras. There's Konechny. Chips it in. Puck battle for it in the corner. Zegras off the post. Here comes the Flyers. Carolina is able to get it back out. There's Aho coming in shorthanded. Cross. No. Flyers with it again. Martin. Dvorak intercepted, and the Hurricanes send it all the way back down. Yeah, that puck is actually out of play. 28 seconds left on the power play for the Flyers. Oh, yeah, you heard that ping there, too. Oh. Face off. False start there. Carolina with it. Off a leg, and Flyers able to keep it in. Martin post. That's into the corner. Carolina's going to dump it down. 10 seconds left on the power play. And power play is going to come to an end. So both teams are now 0 for 1 on the power play. No shots for the Flyers on the power play, on that power play. Offside on Carolina. Robinson a little too ahead there. .323 left in the first period. Face off won by the Flyers. Sanheim. New York. Around the boards. Flyers with it in the corner. Chipped. Big hit behind the net. Back into down into the Carolina end in the corner. Puck battle. Carolina aren't able to get it out. Now I think might be their chance to chip it out, and they do. Out to center into the Flyers zone. And Flyers chip it down into the Carolina zone. Forster chips it into the Carolina zone. About 2 minutes left in the first period. Steelers with a shot. Anderson with a save. Loose rebound, and Carolina is able to clear it. And now here come the Hurricanes. Svechnikov around behind the net. And the Flyers are able to get it out. Chip down into the Flyers zone. Aho round the boards. Martinuk back around the boards. Chatfield to the point. Ehlers. Stahl. Chatfield. Shot in front. Looked like that may have been hit a body. Zegras with it, and he chips it out to center. Carolina with it. Fired around the boards, and there's going to be a whistle. Oh, looks like it's going to be icing. 59.2 seconds left in the first period. Nope. It's like Anderson got bumped there on that last play. Face off to the left of Anderson, no. Won by Carolina. Chatfield passes it up. Chipped up to center. There's Slavin. Quick little save there by Vladar. Yeah. And that's going to be another icing. It's 37.2 seconds left in the first period. Won by the Flyers. All right, to center. Here comes Carolina. Oh, here comes. Here's Dvorak. Oh, cross. Konechny shot it wide. deflected out of play, and we're about 1 second left in the first. What a chance, but for Konechny, though. Oh, he completely missed the net. Wow. They're going to up it to 2 seconds here now. Face off. To the left of Anderson. Won by Aho, and that's going to do it for the first period. Whoa. All right, we're going to the first intermission here. So let's bring up that article that we were going to talk about. So let's bring this up. Come on. Actually, before we read this, I'm going. Or no. Let's get this read. This is written by Tyler Kuhl, written yesterday. And he says, well, there's a lot to be decided when the 2026 NHL draft takes place next month. There's a chance that a player with local ties might be on his way to Vancouver. Brentford Bulldog center Caleb Malhotra is considered one of the top prospects heading into this year's draft. The 17-year-old is the 6th-ranked North American skater by NHL Central Scouting and 6th overall based on Daily Faceoff draft expert Stephen Ellis's latest rankings. Yet some think Malhotra might jump up in the draft with the belief that the Vancouver Canucks might be interested in the Toronto native after an exceptional season in the Ontario Hockey League. While Malhotra was born in Ontario, he spent time in Vancouver as his father, former center Manny Malhotra, played 3 seasons with the Canucks from 2010 to 2013 and was a key part of the team's memorable run to the Stanley Cup Final in 2011. In an interview with TSN's Mark Masters, Malhotra mentioned how special it would be if he were to be drafted by the Canucks, not only because of his ties to the city, but also because his dad is the head coach of Vancouver's AHL affiliate, the Abbotsford Canucks. Growing up in Vancouver, going back home would be really cool. That's the team I cheered for most of my life. My dad being a part of that organization, it'd be interesting. Malhotra had an impressive rookie season with the Bulldogs, scoring 29 goals and 55 assists for 84 points in 67 games. He added another 26 points in 15 contests in the playoffs, helping Brentford make it to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final, ultimately losing to the Barrie Colts. Malhotra, who's committed to play collegiately at Boston University next season, said that his efforts this year earned his status as one of the better prospects in the draft. I think I was pretty good. Malhotra added, I think I've made my mark, made a name for myself. I've still got a ways to go. I did kind of exactly what I wanted. I got better as the season went on, and it kind of showed in my postseason as well. Before joining the Bulldogs, Malhotra spent a year in the British Columbia Hockey League, the BCHL, scoring 26 points in 44 games with the Chilliwack Chiefs during the 24-25 campaign. He also played for the BC Junior Canucks in the 2018 Brick Invitational. Canucks are set to pick 3rd overall in the 2026 draft. The team had the best odds to win the draft lottery, but stumbled to number 3 as Vancouver was leapfrogged by both Toronto and the San Jose Sharks. The 2026 NHL draft is scheduled for June 26th and June 27th, taking place at the KeyBank Center in Buffalo. So there's that article. Let me know what you guys think about this in the chat. What do you guys think about the fact that Caleb says being drafted by the Canucks would be really cool? He does mention in this article that, the fact that his dad is a part of the organization, it would be interesting. So maybe a little nugget there. Perhaps maybe, looking into that bit a little too much. But, he just talks about growing up in Vancouver and just saying going back home would be really cool. He's not necessarily this is what he wants per se, but he's saying it would be really cool to obviously be drafted by the Canucks and play somewhere where he grew up and spent a good majority of his childhood. So let's take a look at this article, because I do want to get into this, because this is interesting. This is written by Ben Steiner. It's from Daily Faceoff, talking about what do the Canucks need to do this summer. Canucks were dealt the latest heartbreak in the hockey club's challenging history this week, losing out on the number 1 overall pick, falling to 3rd despite finishing 32nd in the 25-26 season by a significant measure. While they are unlikely to get Gavin McKenna in the draft, they still get a top-end talent to spark the rebuild, yet there is still no voice at the top leading the way, with the GM search ongoing, despite reports that it has been narrowed down to Ryan Johnson and Evan Gould. On Friday's episode of Daily Faceoff Live, host Tyler Yaremchuk was joined by Steve Peters to break down the offseason priorities for the Western Canadian team as it looks to find its way back to relevancy in the coming years. Yaremchuk said it was a miserable season, but at least for the Canucks fans, it hopefully signified the start of a much-needed rebuild. What is number 1 on the to-do list for the Canucks this summer? Steve Peters says, I think this is an obvious one. I think they needed to hire an experienced GM who could juggle all the issues they have going on. This isn't a one-problem team or a two-problem team. There are many holes in Vancouver. Coming from Arizona, this was our regular summer in Arizona where you've got to go, oh, we're in trouble. We need to rebuild everything, and that's where Vancouver is. I really think the most important move they make is an experienced GM who knows how to handle a salary cap and has been through a rebuild before. I don't know exactly who that person will be, but they will create all the building blocks and dominoes that follow. Is Adam Foote going to stay? Are you going to keep Elias Pettersson? Is Thatcher Demko the answer in net with all of his injury problems? All of those things start with a general manager. Tyler Yaremchuk, I agree. They need to have someone in place. Also pretty surprised that they don't have that figured out yet, but that's also kind of just classic Vancouver. For me, my number 1 thing is simple. At this stage in the rebuild, you're collecting assets. You want to be in a spot where, like the Utah Mammoth, you're a young, up-and-coming team that still has a boatload of picks that you can use then use to upgrade different spots on your roster. If I'm Vancouver, no player is safe. And I'll be honest, no contract is too bad. If a team calls and says, we have this albatross contract we're looking to move, it will give you a first-round pick or a top prospect. I'm taking it every day of the week. The goal for Vancouver is not to field a scrappy or competitive team next year. The goal is to be bad, and the goal is to collect a bunch of assets while you do it. Oh, so there's that article. So let me know what you guys think about that brief little article in the chat. Let me see if there's another one that I wanted to go over. What the hell? Sorry. Oh, Luke Gastic. Jeez. Get green. All right, let's see here. This one's interesting. 4 questions the Canucks new GM will want to answer. This one written by Jordan Frew, who is one of the latest recipients of the Botchford Project. So it's good to see her put up another article. Vancouver Canucks search for a GM appears to be down to Gould and Johnson. It's no secret that once the decision is made, the new hire will have a tall mountain to climb ahead of them. They're joining an organization that had one of their worst seasons to date, struggling with underperforming players and picking up the pieces with a fractured locker room. While there are a lot of things the new GM will have to sort through, there are 4 questions he will want to answer right away. Number 1, is Elias Pettersson open to a change of scenery? Elias Pettersson's future with the Canucks has been up in the air for a while, and it's time to make some decisions regarding it. Whether that be a trade or another season to try to bounce back is up to the new GM and Pettersson. Since signing his 8-year, $11.6 million contract, the star forward's offense has dried up. He has shown bright sides, such as over the past season, proving he can be a two-way forward. But at the end of the day, that's not what the Canucks are paying him for. You can give him some leniency, as during the first 2 years of his new contract, there have been multiple cases of the Canucks having a toxic locker room, one of which directly involved him and former teammate JT Miller. A driving factor for this rift was Pettersson's lack of effort, particularly during the offseason. This is something the organization has had to harp on him before, with Jim Rutherford even doing so again during the Canucks end-of-season press conference. The Swede has shown the powerhouse forward he can be. While there have been glimpses of him during the season, it has not been consistent for a while. Whoever the new GM is, he needs to have an open and honest conversation around Pettersson's future in the organization and whether he can put in the work to return to his former self, or do they need to have a conversation about Pettersson waiving his no-trade clause and finding him a change of scenery. Am I allowed to trade Filip Hronek? Trading Filip Hronek could be a route for the new GM to explore to acquire assets at the beginning of this rebuild. It would also open up more ice time and special teams play for defensemen next season, which will help the Canucks learn who of their young players can lead the team. After the Canucks traded Quinn Hughes, they relied heavily on Hronek to fill his spot. The 28-year-old did the best he could, and in doing so increased his trade value. Given that this offseason's free agent class is weak and teams may explore trades rather than signings, moving Hronek may be a smart move to make. Sorry. Because I got hair. Moving Hronek may be a smart move to consider to bring in other players and picks that gear the Canucks towards the future. With the Canucks having an up-and-coming defense core, it was critical that they receive a strong guiding hand from veteran defensemen like Hronek and Tyler Myers. Rookies like Tom Willander, Zeke Buium, and DPD have now spent a season with the veterans, and the Canucks have started the transition to give young talent the lead in the organization. Even though Myers was dealt at the deadline and Hronek's value is at an all-time high, potentially leading to his exit from the organization, young defensemen will still have a veteran presence in Marcus Pettersson. Additionally, the Canucks have the option to test the offseason market and find a defenseman to replace the leadership they would miss if they move on from Hronek. The new GM needs to ask themselves whether Hronek is expendable, and if so, do so delicately, as the Czech has a no-movement clause through the 27-28 season. He can't afford to run into a similar situation that the Devils put themselves in with Dougie Hamilton. Regardless, the new GM will have to determine whether Hronek is worth more to the team than the possible futures he could return in a trade. What made the Canucks locker room so bad pre-deadline, and are the issues really fixed? As time goes on, more and more keeps coming out about how bad the state of the Canucks locker room truly was. During the 24-25 season, it was the Miller-Pettersson rift. This year, it appears there was still toxicity. During his end-of-season conference, Rutherford said that since the trade deadline, the locker room has never been better, showing the Canucks culture is back on the right path. However, locker room troubles have not been a one-off issue for the team. Over the past couple of seasons, there have been multiple players who have created bad vibes. The new GM needs to do a deep dive into the current Canucks culture and make sure he understands what caused not just one, but all of the issues within the Canucks team. Doing so will allow the organization to lay a strong foundation to build off of and truly move past those issues, ensuring that the mistakes of the past will not be repeated. Who do I draft with the 3rd overall pick? The upcoming draft is a critical step in the building of the Canucks' prospect pool, and it all lies in the hands of the future GM. Right now, the talk is about center Caleb Malhotra, but you never know what opportunities may arise on the draft floor. Will the new GM pick Malhotra? What if Ivar Stenberg is available, which, by the way, we did a video on. You guys can check that out. Should the Canucks consider trading down? These are all questions the Canucks face during the draft. Whoever the new GM is will have to go through each scenario and consult with his scouting department to figure out where the organization stands when it's time to make the critical pick. These are just 4 of the countless questions the new GM will have to consider once he takes control, some of which he'll have already thought through, and some he will want to address right away. These won't be easy tasks for a first-time GM, but they are ones he will need to get right at such a pivotal time in the Canucks' rebuild. Wow, this is a very, very good article by Jordan. So shout out to Jordan Frew for this article. Very interesting. You know what? I actually might even do a video on this one just because it was so good. Like a separate video on this one. But still at the intermission here. We're about 2 minutes away from puck drop. Or 2.5 minutes, I should say. But just a reminder on how you guys can get involved with the live stream. You guys can like the video. You guys can subscribe to the channel. You guys can leave a donation, submit a super chat. You guys can buy a membership. You guys can upgrade, and you guys can use your monthly membership message. So there. All right. Since we're about a minute away, let me do my sponsor read before the second period starts, and we'll get right into it. So that being said, a big shout out and thank you to the sponsor of this watch party, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, which is of course an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The Stanley Cup Playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. Bet player props, bet live from the opening faceoff to the final horn, where every moment matters. New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN so you're ready for the moment. Once again, that is code THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states, void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
All right. So let's get back to here. So let's take a quick look at the game stats after one period of play. Shots were 8-5 in favor of Carolina. Face-off percentage for the Flyers is 44.4%. They won 8 out of 18. Carolina slightly better, 55.6%, 10 out of 18. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play. Hits are 15-6 in favor of the Flyers. So the Flyers really throwing the body around in this one. Block shots are 5-2 in favor of the Flyers as well. Flyers with 7 giveaways. Carolina with 4. 4 takeaways for the Flyers and 1 takeaway for the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow. All right, we're getting set for the second period here. go. All right, face off. Got it. No, probably not, Bobby. I got some stuff to do after this live stream, so probably not. All right, here we go. Puck in the corner. Trey out to center. There's Ehlers with it. Chipped down. Blake with it. One timer, missed the net. Here comes the Flyers. And the puck goes out of play. Nice chance there for Carolina, but chipped in. Zegras. There's Zegras with it. I believe that's York. Aho with it. Oh. Jarvis saved by Vladar. Nice little pass there by Jarvis on Ghosty Bear. Now here comes the Flyers, breaking it out to center. Down, saved by Anderson, and that is going to go out of play. Oh, Carolina with that. Chipped down into the Flyers zone. Flyers up to center. Here come the Flyers. Barkey. Goss is bear now with it. There we go. Center. Ehlers. Stall with a shot saved by Vladar. Oh! Flyers taking it down. Oh, Flyers take it back. Another save by Vladar. Carolina pressuring here. Nice little move there by Blake. Good point. One-timer, missed the net. Oh, another missed net. Penalty coming up on the Flyers. Wow, what a stop by Vladar there. Cool. Booking on Couturier. So Carolina is going to the power play once again. No. Flyers fire it back down into Carolina's zone. Ehlers. Svechnikov. That's the Ghosty Bear. Ghosty Bear. Ehlers. Ghosty Bear, one. Saved by Vladar. Aho to Ghosty Bear. Ghosty Bear, one-timer blocked. Svechnikov. Ghosty Bear. Ehlers. One-timer saved by Vladar again. Ghosty Bear. And that's going to go out of play. 23 seconds left on the power play. Shots are 14-6 now for Carolina. Less than 10 seconds left on the power play. Shot. Carolina's now 0 for 2 on the power play. There come the Flyers. Flyers chip it in. Here comes Carolina. Philadelphia's going to the power play. Look on Stahl's face. Commercial break here. But the Flyers are going to be going on the power play. See if they can take advantage of this and extend their lead up by 1. Or sorry, up by 2. Any predictions on the final score in this one? Let me know in the chat. Face off. Two minutes for chipping on Stahl. Carolina dumps it down. Comes Carolina. Short-handed. Off with a shot. Puck out of play. Flyers breaking it out now. Martone. Shot wide. It's like there's going to be another penalty. So Flyers are going to go on the 2-man advantage. So Aho's off for hooking. So Flyers have a 40-second two-man advantage. 5-on-3. Carolina dumps it down. Martin. Shoots wide. Penalty's over. Martin shot. Minute left on the power play. Flyers really pressing here. Zegras with a one-timer. Back to Zegras. Shot wide. And, yeah, Jankowski's able to get it out. Ties down. Oh, another penalty called, this time against the Flyers. Interference on Ristolainen. 4-on-4 for 22 seconds. No. Okay, so Carolina's on the power play now. A little over a minute. All the way down to the ice. Here comes Carolina. Missed the pass. Flyers able to get the puck out. Comes Carolina. Aho. Saved by Vladar. So the Hurricanes are now 0 for 3 on the power play, but still out shooting the Flyers 16-8. About a little under 8 minutes left in the second period here. Oh, that's who the loud fuck was. It was my tone. Oh, what a chance. All in to take the draw. Shot. Scores! What a shot. Wow. Well, 1-1. Carolina scores again. Oh, so it's under review. So Philadelphia's going to challenge this. I don't think it does. No, I think that's a good goal. Let me know in the chat. You guys think that is a good goal? Wow. Woo, that's me. So it's still 1-1. Anderson covers it up. Jump down into the Flyers zone. Here come the Flyers. One timer. What a save by Vladar. About a little over 5 minutes left in the second period. Okay, so far shots in the second period are 11-3 in favor of Carolina. Philadelphia really needs to start getting some shots on goal. But that's just the way that Carolina plays. So Take a look at the game stats. 19-8 shots. Faceoffs are now 57.6% for Carolina, 19 out of 33. Philadelphia is 14 out of 33 with a 42.4%. Hits are 19-11 in favor of the Flyers. Block shots are 14-3. More giveaways, 11 now, to Carolina's 7. Four takeaways, 3 for the Hurricanes, 4 for the Flyers. I still don't. I still think that was a good goal. I didn't see really any contact. Back to the point. Ghosty Bear. Shot. Ooh. It looked like a good chance there. Ooh. Oh, right in front of the net. Ooh, big hit by Miller. Another big hit. Chipped out. Carolina with that center ice. Just under 4 minutes left in the second. Chipped up, down into the Flyer zone. Clendening in front. Whoa! How did that stay out? Oh. Carolina gets it out. Shots are now 20-9. In the corner. Here comes Ehlers. Martin with a shot saved by Vladar. One timer went wide. Aho was not able to handle that. About 2 minutes left in the second. Puck back down into the Flyers zone. Carolina trying to break it in. There comes Carolina. 3-on-1. Oh, how did he miss the net? Robinson. Jankowski. In front, loose. And Vladar's got it. 50.2 seconds left in the second. Oh. All the way down to. Chipped in. Here comes the Flyers. Front. Hit the post. Carolina's just going to chip it down, and that's the end of the period. All right. Second intermission. Shots are 23-9 in favor of Carolina, as we're all tied at 1 going to the second intermission here. I'm just going to get this up and going. There we go. So we're going to go over this article. This says here, sounds like more big changes could be coming to Vancouver Canucks' front office. This, obviously written by our good buddy Beggsy, Trevor Beggs. The Vancouver Canucks are on the verge of hiring their next general manager, but the changes might not stop there. After the Canucks' miserable season ended last month, the club fired GM Patrick Allvin. That was followed by President Jim Rutherford announcing that he was stepping down from his everyday role following the NHL draft. Those are big changes, but a recent report suggested that there might be more coming. Irfan Gafar recently reported on the DFO Rundown podcast that the Canucks could be making sweeping changes in the front office. Look, the scouting department, I believe they all need contracts, and I think that department is going to be completely overhauled. This news was previously reported back in April, with the majority of Vancouver scouting staff needing new contracts in July. Perhaps it's inopportune timing to have your scouting staff be sweating about job security, considering this might be the most important draft in Canucks history. They're picking third overall for the first time since 1999. They have 2 first and 2 second round picks in the same draft for the first time ever. In case that wasn't enough change, Gaffar believes the changes won't stop a GM, president of hockey ops, and scouting staff. I think that the AGMs are going to be completely overhauled, he said. You can't go in and run it back with people that clearly weren't able to make proper decisions in trying to get a hockey team to where they want to go. I mean, one playoff series win and the last forever isn't going to cut it. Aside from Ryan Johnson, who's reportedly a finalist for the Canucks GM job, the only 2 AGMs on Vancouver staff are Emily Castonguay and Cami Granato. Castonguay was hired by the Canucks just days after Patrick Allvin was named GM. At the time, she became the second woman in NHL history to hold the assistant GM title. Just 2 weeks later, the Canucks added Cami Granato to the AGM team. The pair seemed to add balance to the Canucks' front office, with Granato previously working as a scout, while Castonguay was a player agent. On the scouting side, Vancouver's department has been run by Todd Harvey ever since Judd Brackett's departure in 2020. In total, the Canucks have 13 amateur scouts and 6 pro scouts working for the organization, according to their website. The irony in all of this might be, does Adam Foote suddenly have the best job security among Canucks coaches, scouts, and front office staff? Very, very interesting there. But I want to check out this one too, because this one looks very interesting. Let me go like this. This is from way back in April, since we're talking about the draft. How the Canucks have drafted since Judd Brackett left. All right. So a reminder, this article is from the 16th of April. I'll skip over anything that says, if the Canucks get the first pick. And 2026 NHL draft would be one of the most important days in Vancouver Canucks history. The first time this century, Canucks will have a top 3 pick. This is also the first time ever that the Canucks have multiple picks in both the first and second rounds. But in typical Canucks fashion, there's some potential underlying drama ahead of the season's most important day. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman reported earlier that week that a large portion of the Canucks scouting staff is without contracts that we just talked about. Brackett was widely viewed as a positive influence on the Canucks organization, even if some of the shine has worn off of Vancouver's picks under him in the years following. Harvey and the Canucks scouting staff were left in an awkward spot following Brackett's departure, and Jim Benning and John Weisbrod reportedly had a bigger role on the draft floor. The Canucks had no first-round picks during Benning's last 2 drafts in 2020 and 2021. Players from those drafts are now between the ages of 23 and 24, theoretically entering their primes. Vancouver hasn't had a single player from those drafts play an NHL game. Thank you, Jim. Yoni Yermo was the highest player selected by the Canucks in 2020, 3rd round, 82nd overall. While you can never bang on a 3rd round pick, it does sting to see 3 of the 5 players drafted after him turn into NHL players. That includes Richmond, BC native and former Vancouver Giants forward Justin Sordick. Danila Klimovich was the first player taken by the Canucks in 2021 in the 2nd round, 41st overall. While lots of teams whiffed in a draft hampered by COVID-19 shutdowns, the Canucks did pass on another talented local product in Logan Stankoven, 2nd round, 47th overall. How have the Canucks drafted under Allvin? Much like Benning, Allvin was a longtime amateur scout before becoming an NHL GM, but unlike the end of Benning's tenure, there have been fewer misses for the Canucks on the draft floor. Canucks haven't had a top 10 pick during Allvin's tenure, thanks to dreadful starts in 22 and 23 that were buoyed by late season runs. When gouging how they've done at the draft, it has to be viewed through two lenses. How did they do considering their draft position? How many potential later round gems did they unearth? Jonathan Lekkerimäki was a defensible pick at 15th overall in 22, while other players taken after him in the first round have performed better. Lekkerimäki's scoring profile at the AHL level still suggests he has top 6 potential. Injuries have also played a factor in his development. Vancouver also unearthed 2 quality young defensemen in Elias Pettersson, DPD, 3rd round 80th overall pick, and Kirill Kudryavtsev, 7th round 208th overall pick. Much like Lekkerimäki, you could also say Willander was defensible at 11th overall. Now there is potential some value left on the table there, mainly because other forwards like Zach Benson, Matthew Wood, Gabriel Perreault, Callum Ritchie, Easton Cowan, and Bradley Nadeau have all flashed top 6 potential. Still, Willander projects to be a solid, if unspectacular, second pairing defenseman. Once again, Vancouver seemingly found 2 more defensemen outside of the first round in Hunter Brustevich and Sawyer Minio, who were both drafted in the 3rd round. Canucks had to rely on the scouting prowess in 2024 since they didn't have a pick until the 3rd round. However, their first 3 picks, Melvin Fernstrom, Riley Patterson, Anthony Romani, have all flashed some NHL upside. The best of the bunch, Fernstrom was dealt to the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Marcus Pettersson trade. He has 8 points in 14 AHL games since coming to North America back in February. That brings us to 2025, where the Canucks drafted Braden Coots, 15th overall, confirming reports that suggested their interest in the player. Coots impressed Canucks brass enough to get an NHL look at the beginning of the season. However, like Willander, he may have been a safer pick. The Athletic's Scott Wheeler ranked 6 players from the 2025 draft ahead of Coots in terms of guys who were drafted after him. 3 of them, Victor Eklund, Kashan Aitchison, and Cole Reshney, were selected immediately after and seem to have higher ceilings. Coots may encapsulate the Canucks drafting under Harvey and Albin. They deserve credit for finding NHL players with their first-round picks and for unearthing later-round gems. You could also argue that they've been a bit safe with some of their first-round picks, something Canucks fans probably don't want to see, as Vancouver projects to have multiple top 10 picks in the coming seasons. So once again, great article from our good buddy Beggsy, Trevor Beggs. Let me check something here. Let's take a look at this one. Is this up? Yeah. This, I know people are talking about Quinn Hughes not being a Norris nominee this season. Actually, how much time do we have? About 7 minutes. This one written by our buddy Tyson Cole. Viewed as neck and neck with Cale Makar for the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. Quinn Hughes was not recognized for that by voters for the James Norris Trophy for the 2025-26 season. A 23-24 Norris Trophy winner was left off enough top 3 of ballots that he was not named a finalist for the 25-26 Best Defenseman Award. The midseason trade could have played a part in the decision, but his numbers are still undeniable. 26 games on the sinking Vancouver Canucks scored 2 goals and 21 assists for 23 points in 26 games. In 48 games with the rising Minnesota Wild, the 5'10" blue liner had 5 goals and 48 assists for 53 points. He finished the season with 76 points in 74 games, good for 5th among NHL defensemen. Shockingly, that stat profile was not good enough to draw up top 3 consideration for Hughes, but that's more of a testament to how strong the race was rather than a knock on Hughes. The Norris Trophy finalists, first up, Rasmus Dahlin. Buffalo Sabres snapped their 14-year playoff drought this season, and the play from their captain was a large reason why. Dahlin scored 19 goals and 55 assists for 74 points, with a plus 18 rating while averaging over 24 minutes per game. The Swedes' point totals were only bested on the Sabres by Tage Thompson, who had 81. Among league wide blue liners, Dahlin's 74 points ranked 6th, and his 19 goals were 7th. This is the first time in his 8-year NHL career that Dahlin was a finalist for the award. Number 2, Cale Makar, viewed as the league's best defenseman, so seeing him among the top 3 in voting should not be surprising. However, this was considered a down year by his standards. Makar finished the regular season with 20 goals and 59 assists for 79 points in 77 games, with a plus 32 rating in nearly 25 minutes of average ice time. Despite his lower-ish numbers, Makar still finished 3rd in defensive scoring this season. The right-shot defenseman is the reigning Norris Trophy winner, which was his 2nd in 4 seasons. Makar has been nominated for the award for the past 5 seasons. Lastly, we have Zach Werenski. Over the past 2 seasons, Werenski has truly ascended into one of the league's best blue liners. Last year, he registered 82 points in 81 games. This season, he bested his points per game average, but finished 1 point shy of matching the career high he set last season in 75 games. In 25-26, Werenski scored 22 goals and 59 assists for 81 points, with a plus 7 rating in 26 minutes and 37 seconds of average ice time. Last season, Werenski finished as the runner-up to Makar. Will he finally get over the hump this season? And there's also Bill Masterson, finalist as well, but we got about 3 minutes or so. So Dahlin is also a finalist for the Bill Masterson. So is Gabriel Landeskog. And then you also have Jonathan Toews after taking a 2-year hiatus from the game to recover from CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and long COVID. Toews made his return to the NHL for the 25-26 season. He returned to the NHL not with the Blackhawks, but with his hometown team, the Winnipeg Jets. It was a slow return for the 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Toews put together a full 82-game campaign, scoring 11 goals and 18 assists for 29 points as a 38-year-old. So there you guys go. Once again, some great stuff from my good buddy Tyson Cole. So a shout out to Tyson, who I hung out with at the draft lottery watch party. That was a lot of fun hanging out with him. So definitely show him some love. And actually, on that note, show him and Dave Hall some love, who I also saw at the watch party, and their new prospect show, Blackfish, which you can find on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. They have a new episode every Wednesday, so definitely check that out for sure. So we're going to get back to here. I'm just going to refresh this. So about 2 minutes away from the 3rd period starting. So once again, get your predictions in for the final score in this one in the chat. Let me know who do you guys think is going to walk away as the winner in this one, as we're tied after 2. Do you guys think it's going to be Carolina? Do you think they're going to complete the sweep? Or do you think the Flyers are going to finally beat the Carolina Hurricanes and keep their season alive and at least extend it to 1 more game? Let me know in the chat right now. And again, hopefully my iPad does not die halfway through the 3rd period. I'm down to 30% here because I was a bonehead and did not charge it last night like I normally do. We're getting set here. Okay, enough of the commercials. Let's just go. Yeah, all right. Getting ready for the third period here. I will say, Flyers are going to need more than single-digit shots if they want to win this one. Then again, all it takes is just one shot, and you know, all right, here we go. And we're underway. Flyers with it. They chip it out, and that's going to be an icing. In front. Oh, great chance. Here's Konechny. Flyers with it at the point. Shot. Flyers. Out to center. Oh. Into the Carolina zone. Ooh, big hit on Walker. Puck battle for it. Here comes the Flyers. Here come the Hurricanes. Shot wide. Chipped in. There you go. Flyers with it. And it's going to be a whistle. Offside. Just under 4 minutes into the third period. Shots are 24-9. So the Flyers have yet to get a shot on in this period. Only 2 for Carolina in this one. It's getting close to the part where whoever scores next might very well win this game. There you go. Pass off to the right of Vladar. Svechnikov to Chatfield. Shot blocked. Slavin using that big frame of his. Chipped in. You go. Here comes Carolina now. In front, scores! Stankoven putting a little stank on that one. What a goal. Goal. Seventh of the playoffs for Stankoven, assisted by Hall and Blake. Behind the net. Flyers able to get it out. Offside. Ooh. Yeah. 15:06 left. Flyers still don't have a shot on goal in this one. 4 for Carolina. Whistle. Offside. There we go. Here comes Carolina. Shot on goal. Saved by Vladar. All right, face off. Aho stepping in it. Couturier wins it. Give the puck away. Carolina here. Jarvis shot saved by Vladar. No, gave it away again in front of the net. Jarvis once again, but Vladar covers it. Oh, Jarvis just fanned on the shot there. Oh. Here come the Flyers. Konechny in front, scores. All tied up. What a goal. What a one-timer. Yeah, he was wide open. Boom. So one shot on goal for the Flyers in this third period, and they make it count. We're all knotted up again. Jigris chips it out. There comes the Flyers. And it's going to be icing. Flyers chip it out. And some shot wide. Whistle. We go to a quick commercial here. There you go. Well, Flyers with it. Konechny now with it. Out to center. Offside. Battle point at center. There's Hathaway. Here comes Carolina. Oh, was saved by Vladar. Great chance there for Carolina. Here come the Flyers. Wide. Oh, referee goes down. Battle for it in the corner. Back to the point. Shot blocked. And it clears. Here come the Flyers again. Up the boards. Martone missed the pass. Here come the Hurricanes again. Johnson shot blocked. Rebound. Chipped out. Offside. Oh, open on prayer. All right, face off. Chipped in. All right, the Flyers with it now. Aho circling. Shot. Rebound. Oh. And here come the Flyers. Anderson with a save, and he covers it. Martin with a nice chance there. As you go to a commercial here. Yeah, I just saw that Hockey Gods commercial. That was a little stupid, not gonna lie. All right. Go. Shot went wide. Offside. .907 left in the third period. Face-off won by the Flyers. Chipped in. That's gonna go into the. That's gonna go out of play. .854. All right. Hurricanes with their shot, saved by Vladar. Fired into the Flyers zone. Shot, saved by Anderson. That's going to be icing. Goes out to the left of Anderson. Here comes Carolina. In front, saved by Bladard. Bladard doesn't know where it is. Chatfield missed the net. What a chance for Carolina there. And it's going to be a whistle. Oh, what a chance. Saved by Anderson. Oh, no. Big hit. Walker. Chipped into the Flyers zone. 6.5 to go. Nikishin shot out of play. Hurricanes with it. Shot blocked. Offside. Chip down. There you go. In the corner now. Back to the point. In front. Oh, I missed the net. Here comes the Flyers. Chipped in. There's going to be a whistle. High stick. So we go to a quick commercial break here with a little over 5 minutes left in the third. I'm going to see if I can charge my iPad here. I'm actually going to switch my headphones too. Switch these out. See, it's not a baby. Oops. Oh. Okay. There we go. There we go. No. Into the corner. Carolina chips it out. That's going to be icing. Face off to the right of Ladar. Around the boards. Dump down into the oh. Draw face off to the right of Anderson. Chipped in. And the puck goes out of the zone. Now here comes Carolina. Now, Drysdale with a nice stick there to break up that pass. That's going to be icing. 3:18. Faceoff won by Stankoven. Oh, getting double teamed now. Over the glass and out of play. .257. We're on the boards. Here comes Carolina. Fired it down. Oh. Puck battle in the corner. Shot on the point. Block it away from Vladar. Puck battle in the corner again. Flyers are going to clear it. Under 2 minutes left. They're going to Svechnikov of driving his way through. They're going to last minute play in the third. It's going to go all the way down to the Flyers zone. Shot. Saved by Vladar. And that's the end of the third. We're going to overtime. So we're going to overtime here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to take actually a quick break here. Since we're going to overtime, we have about 17 minutes. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. So I'll be right back, but I'm going to play some music for you guys to keep you entertained for the time being. And I'll be back in about little over 15 minutes. All right, we're back as we get set for overtime here. Oh, wow, we got lots of people joining now. I'll grab myself some snacks for this overtime because I don't know how long this game's going to go. Yo, face off. Yo, puck is dropped. Yo, puck down. Oh, Anderson covers it. Yeah. Shit. Shit. All right, come the Hurricanes. And that's going to go out of play. Those of you guys in the live chat, give me your prediction. Who's going to score for the Hurricanes? Who's going to score for the Flyers in this one? Let me know your predictions in the live chat. Shot wide. Icing on against Carolina. Svechnikov behind the net. One-timer. Carolina with it. Went wide. Goes out of play. Hall was right there. He was right there. By the way, you guys ever see these? I know you can't get these in Canada, but these are so good. Chocolate Twizzlers. One thing I love about my wife going back down to the US, she was able to bring me home some chocolate Twizzlers. Puck dump back down in. Blake with it. Ghosty Bear. Puck battle in the corner. Taylor Hall with it behind the net. Tried to feed Stankov in there. Ghosty Bear shot. Saved by Vladar. It's going to be icing. Well, face off. Oh, Barkey wasn't able to keep it in. Shot. Looks like that was blocked. There comes Robinson. Shot wide. Buck. Icing against Flyers. Shot. Deflected. Shot. Saved by Mount. Shot. Carolina pressuring here. Shot. Saved by Vladar. Out. Icing. Carolina's able to get it out. And just another great save there. Over the glass, out of play. Dumped in. Shot. Block. In front. Aho. Slavin keeps it in. Now it's out. Say the refs have kind of put their whistles away. Oh, shot. Scores! You heard the loud yell from Dan Villadar after that goal went in. And the Carolina Hurricanes are advancing with a perfect 8-0 record. They sweep the Flyers. They're back-to-back sweeps in the first 2 rounds. Oh, yeah, Vladar was not happy about that. But the Flyers should not be disappointed. They had a great run. Hey, what's up, buddy? Well, quit talking is out. Yep, another second round exit for Rick Tocchet. A loud "Let's Go Flyers" chant. Yeah, the Flyers have a lot to be proud of, for sure. Let's take a look at the 3 stars in this one. Obviously, your first star is Jackson Blake, 2 goals, including the game winner, an assist, 3-point night for him. Logan Stankoven, the second star, with a goal. And then Dan Vladar is the third star with a 2.75 goals against, a 925 save percentage, and he really kept the Flyers in this game, so he absolutely deserves that third star. Put up a bunch of saves in this one. Actually, you look at the box score. I want to say exactly how many saves Vladar had in this one. Yeah, 37 saves on 40 shots, and he only allowed in 3. So Vladar played very well in this one, despite coming out on the losing end, and that game-winning goal, just tipping off his glove and into the net. And Porter Martone with a assist in this one. He was lights out in that first round. Obviously, Bump with the goal earlier. A lot of young guys on this roster with Luchenko, Bump. I don't want to call Zegras a young guy because he's been in the league for a while, but you got Martone, Barkey. They got a good roster. Let's take a look at the Hurricanes. Stan Koven with the goal at +2. Surprising that Svechnikov has been, I don't know how many points he has in the playoffs so far. Oh, Shona kid crying. That's all too familiar for us Canuck fans. Taylor Hall with a 3-point night in this one, 3 assists. And of course, as we mentioned, Blake with the 3 points as well. Heck of a game for him. Final shots in this game were 40-17 in favor. Excuse me, 40-17 in favor of Carolina. Face-off percentage 51.4% for Carolina, 37 out of 72, 35 out of 72 for Philadelphia. So pretty close in the face-off dot between the two teams. Only 3 power plays for each side. Neither team scored on the power play in this one. Hits were 39-29 in favor of Philadelphia. Excuse me. Block shots are 24-7 in favor of Philadelphia. 19 giveaways for the Flyers, 14 for the Hurricanes. 5 takeaways for the Flyers and 6 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Final shots per period were 8-5 for Carolina, 15-4 in the second for Carolina, and 13-6 in the third period. And then shots were 4-2 in the overtime period. Oh, Lugastic, get off my fucking screen right now. Shut up. But there you go. There's another watch party. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now let me know what you guys think in either the chat or on the replay of this in the comments. Who do you think the Hurricanes are going to face in the Eastern Conference Final? Do you think it's going to be the Montreal Canadiens, or do you think it is going to be the Buffalo Sabres? Sorry, I just had a brain fart there for a split second, and I just realized my subscriber counter is not updated. There we go. Let me quickly do that on here. There. Boom. Updated. All right. But once again, reminder, ways you guys can get involved. You can like the video if you haven't already. You can subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more watch parties and more draft related and Canucks content. You can send in a super chat and I will read it live on the show, guaranteed. You can also buy a membership. You can upgrade your membership, and you can also use a monthly membership message in the chat. So once again, thank you guys for watching this watch party. Appreciate every single one of you. I will let you guys know when the next one will be. Might not be until like maybe a week from now. So it could potentially be a third round, game. You never know. But once again, on your way out, hit the like button and subscribe to the Line Change for more watch parties and more content, as I mentioned. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next watch party.